Kia ora mai e te iwi, nau mai, hoki mai ki tēnei pāpahotanga whakaata Māori. Ko tēnei te kēmu tuarua o te rā tuarua, ko te kēmu o ngā tama no te tai Tokerau no Counties Manukau anō hoki. Ko Sean Moki tēnei māua ko Maya Williams. Tēnā koe Maya.
Tēnā koe Sean. Just pre-game, you're really excited about this game, and I look at the previous scores before both of these teams. Counties Manukau, jeepers, they've only had 6 touchdowns scored against them in 4 games. 14-0, 16-1, 15-0, and then then their 3 games out of their scores, they actually had 1 touchdown. Sorry, I was reading one of the Te Tai Tokerau scores in there. So why were you so excited about this game, in particular this Counties Manukau team?
Well, I look at the team list for Counties Manukau and I recognise a few of the names. I recognise a few of the faces looking here onto the screen. And a lot of these players actually make up the Nippies club side. We're very lucky here in Tamaki Makaurau to have a very awesome Division 1 competition down at the Pakuranga Rugby Club, where the top 8 teams from around the men's division in Auckland go head-to-head every Thursday night at 10 p.m. under the lights. It's a spectacle every Thursday. But these Counties Manukau boys, under 16s, are playing in the Division 1 grade against the likes of the Pearl Jams, they're playing ups, the Bullets, the Loadeds, and it's just such an impressive thing to see. You see a few of the boys on this team list here, Calvin Harris, Tavita, Trevan, McIntyre. It's just going to be a spectacle. I'm very, very excited, and coached by none other than Lucky Smythe.
We see that across all sports over the last decade, don't we, Sean, where there's not the adults grade and the kids grade, and you play in the kids grade until you get better in your adults grade. In all other sports now, most of our Super Rugby teams are full of kids that come out of high school, out of those key first 15 schools. So your age doesn't determine your ability in sport, and this is a clear example of that. So you talked about it there in the Division 1, have they whopped you up at all?
We have gone up against the Nippies side, and I was extremely pleasantly surprised. They did let us know that they were a 16s boys team. I tell you what, they didn't play with it. We talked about those meaningful touches. There was plenty of those. But not only that, they're just a bunch of seriously talented rangatahi, and gosh, it just makes me want to pull back the years a few many years and go back to this grade, and I just wish I could perform at the level that these boys perform at.
Now we've thrown a lot of the chocolates Counties Manukau way, but it was about 2 decades ago where touch in Te Tai Tokerau had a real resurgence in it, and not only is it great to see how many teams they have at these national events, but how successful they are in those. So a humdinger, can Te Tai Tokerau be the team that tames this Counties Manukau juggernaut? And in the space of 13 seconds, we nearly see why this Counties Manukau team is just absolutely lapping everyone.
Yeah, I spoke about him in the pre-game. Trevan McIntyre, a prestigious name in the touch world, playing for Counties Manukau, which makes me pretty bloody happy, but he's got a lethal right-hand dive on him. Te Tai Tokerau matching on a defensive end very well, and there's no going around it. We look at the team list, we look at the coaching. Bruce Kakia, what a name to have back at Te Tai Tokerau, a prominent name from Counties Manukau, returning his favours to Te Tai Tokerau, a bunch of very, very lucky players.
Absolutely, both teams well coached, as you said. Nice to see Te Tai Tokerau giving as much as they got in that first set. The whole body language from that Counties Manukau team, you can tell they've played in adult divisions, can't you? Just the way they carry themselves, the way they go into touches.
I was very fortunate not long ago to be sitting at home watching the Whakatane tournament on my TV, cuddling my newborn son, which was probably one of the best highlights of my break. And I actually got to watch the Nippies team take on the Jedi side down there. And this Nippies team, which is now who we refer to as the Counties Manukau 16 boys side, were an absolute juggernaut as we see them dot down for their first try.
I can't believe what we're seeing at the moment. You said to me this is going to be a mean game, and I was like, oh, okay, yep, under 16s, a good under 16s game. This does not look like an under 16s team. If our cameras were a little bit further away and we couldn't see how young these faces are, you'd swear you're watching the Counties Open men's team.
Yes, it's a bunch of very strong and athletic young rangatahi here on both sides of the field. Te Tai Tokerau very, very talented side. I'd say we'd like to see a lot of 7-metre attack here from the Tokerau team, especially coming from the coaching staff of Bruce Kake. He loves the follow plays. He loves the cookie plays. I was out on the backfields earlier this morning, and I did catch a few of the tries from Te Tai Tokerau, and no shock to see a lot of follow plays on the line.
I guess one way counties will stop that from happening is not letting them get to that 7-metre attacking line. Oh, just look at the flow they have going into all the attack. Straight into this touchdown zone. It's number 12 from Counties Manukau, Roko Walker. I didn't quite catch the number of the scorer of this touchdown. We just see him here all set up by that beautiful drive on the 5th touch. Beats the diving defender. Nice little pass back, and there he is, Akadi Wanui. Second touchdown, Counties Manukau go up 2-0.
The athleticism to me is just completely mind-blowing. We see counties coming on from their sub-box at full speed, at 100% speed, coming through the sub-box. Normally, for me personally, I see Calvin Harris-Tavita on the back end of the yards. He's normally the one picking the ball out of half, throwing the left to right, the right to left. He does it both ways. But no, that time he put his head down. He drove hard for the yards, and we had the number 12, as you said, Bailey from Counties Manukau coming off the back with a clean scoop through into the end goal.
You listen to players in Super Rugby who have their first All Blacks games, or NRL players playing State of Origin. They always get asked, what's the biggest difference? And they talk about the speed of the game. You can see that this counties team has been playing in competitions against teams that the speed level is just so much higher than what any under-16 team can throw at them. So they just look like they're at a different pace.
Well, I tell you what, we watched an 18 boys game here yesterday, and it was of great quality. But I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that this 16 boys pace from Counties Manukau has ramped up a whole nother level. But Te Tai Tokerau have come to match them just as well.
Absolutely, and I'm sure they'll have to adjust to the strength or the meaningfulness of the touches from Counties Manukau and also that speed. And once they get into the rhythm of the game that counties have absolutely dominated, then I reckon we'll see the best come from them. Like we said, previous scores from this counties team, as they look like they're going in here for their third, 14-0, 16-1, 15-0. They are lethal.
We spoke about it pre-game. We spoke about it last game as well. We just see the extra check of yards coming through the middle of the field, which opened up a massive hole for Ollie Anderson, number 15, the left-hand side winger for the under-16 counties team. He had quite an open run to the try line there. I don't think that'll be the hardest one he scores today.
3-0 in the blink of an eye. Counties Manukau up against Te Tai Tokerau. In the last couple of sets, just some unforced errors in the roll ball area. This time a lot better. Now they go the short side. Counties have that covered. Again, not square. Shea Spivey, the ref. 1-3 with Moana Edwards. Tony Kokarulo, very experienced referee. All three of these men, actually.
It's just so impressive to see the quality of both sides here in the 16s boys grade. We've got 4 teams in this 16s boys division that didn't play last year. We have 18 in total. The new inclusions this year are Marlborough, the Auckland second team, the Bay of Plenty second team, and the Counties Manukau second team. So we have 3 second teams alone out of the 18. It just makes the competition so difficult when you've got 17 other teams to go up against over a weekend of 3 days.
And it makes the quality of the teams that obviously have 2 better, right? So often in small rural areas, and I guess I speak from experience in down the Thames Valley, you've got 6 amazing players, and then you're trying to fill the rest of those numbers with others as into the touchdown zone for the first time. Just needs to catch up with someone. I'm sure this will be a penalty for holding by the Link Counties player.
Yes, very well spotted there. It's not often that we see a few of these big names from the Counties Manukau team there.
Are you happy with just the penalty there? For me, I think the non-offending team just was disadvantaged. And the reason I say that is the likelihood is if he wasn't held that he would have scored. The fact that he was held meant they didn't score, and all it is to go back and have there's not really any penalty to the offending team, which is Counties Manukau. I wonder why that person can't be sin-binned.
Yeah, I totally agree. Typically in the big games, you sort of see that creeping in a little bit. The referees of a higher level might look to try and make that a little bit more of a serious offence. But I think, as you say, it definitely has to be something that is probably penalised a little bit further, especially in these games where, it could be the difference of a 2 or 3 try deficit.
I think referees tend to fit in 2 categories. Those who are really hungry to say, I'm going to sin bin you if you do this, that sort of pride battle. And then you have the other group, which I think the majority of referees sit into, is they understand how big the impact is and they tend to shy away or go for a lesser penalty or something like that. Often I'll talk to referees and I'll just say, what does the book say we should do in this situation? Take the emotion out of it. Down the short side. Oh, first touchdown. I'm not sure if that was skill by luck. I actually think it was by both.
Yeah, what a great setup here. They get a nice crossover. It looked like he was going to dive. Fooled me. He snatched it out of the air. The winger, you can see he's got his head down only because he thought he had the right read there. Very unlucky not to make the stop. He was marking 3 players. It was no easy feat. But no, the Te Tai Tokerau link just snatching it out of thin air there and getting the first dot down.
That is speed is just electric, isn't it? I guess the only way you can combat their attack is by giving them the ball as little as possible. 3-1, Te Tai Tokerau have been able to do what 2 other teams yesterday couldn't. They've equalled the highest score against Counties Manukau so far. But what I think they've done is they've now started to find the rhythm of this game. They've now been able to lift their speed up to where this Counties Manukau team started with it. Surprised that's not a forward pass. Can hear Coach Kake. Yes, forward pass on this side. I thought it was.
I think Counties Manukau will be a little bit disappointed with the fact that, yes, they do actually have a try scored against them. I know when you're a juggernaut like this team is, you like to try keep that score sheet clean. However, Te Tai Tokerau proving that they are here to give them a good fight.
Counties Manukau, not only are they getting 1, they're getting 2 up. Like you said yesterday, often when there's only 1 up, just that extra pass on the outside. Are they going to go back for the penalty? You can see. I have that scream of Bruce's just constantly in the back of my head, and it's just that noise that he puts out, to, just in case you didn't know if something happened in that situation.
Yeah, for sure, and rightly so. They deserved the penalty there. Counties not just doing enough to get back on side. I'm sure we'll see a nice little middle play here, maybe one out of the back pocket of the Kake family. Oh, just falling a little bit awkwardly there.
I really hope Te Tai Tokerau can score here. 3-2. Counties Manukau would have had nothing like this in their previous games.
And as a team that's fighting for that top spot, you definitely want to have these games where you do get threatened very, very promisingly from the get-go. There's been absolutely no let off from Te Tai Tokerau, and I'd say the fact that they're only down by 2, they'll keep fighting as hard as they possibly can, as we see a nice strong set again from the Counties team. Great scoop out of the half, through into the end goal. Few players free, but no one's free enough. Oh, good defence there from Te Tai Tokerau. No need to hide, hold or obstruct. They just went to a mirror defence and were able to snuff that out, looking very promising, Counties Manukau. Counties Manukau, you can tell again, another one of the reasons why I think you can tell they've been at a different level. Most of these teams that are playing here will have gone away and practiced a certain move or certain pattern, and they'll come here and implement it. What Counties Manukau did is practice those patterns, but then they know if this presents itself, we then do this. And you can just see that they don't do the same thing all the time. When that defender's up by themselves, they get to the outside. Now that we're attacking this left side, we'll do this. You can just see that they don't just have plan A there, but then that evolves into B, C, D, and E. And I mean, I'm preaching to the converter there with you. That's how you play everything. I guess I totally agree in the sense that they're just playing eyes up footy. And that's very loose language that we like to use, especially down on the field. You don't want to become robotic, and you don't want to just play what you've practiced for the last 3 months down on the field. And you can see Counties Manukau are just taking every opportunity that presents to them. Yeah, and it's great to have on our broadcast here, the Bunnings Warehouse. We can see this here. Counties Manukau again coming across to their force. But when you're broadcasting this out to everyone in the motu, this is the quality of touch that you want to be broadcasting. And Counties Manukau, I don't think they would go too bad in an open man. I might be just talking out of my head right now, but you play them every week on a Thursday. Do you reckon they could handle themselves up there? Well, these patterns that they're running are not anything that's too strange to me. I've been on the receiving end of their thumping yards coming off the tap-off. I've been on the receiving end of a Calvin Harris Tavita left to right long ball. I'm in the lane trying to intercept it, but his passing is extremely accurate. The team is full of a bunch of athletes, and you just don't know where the threats are, because sometimes you can stand out there on the field and tell your other defenders which ones are their threats, which ones are their attacker. It's pretty clear cut. With this 16 boys team from Counties Manukau, it's a guessing game.
Yeah, you can tell where their threats are across the park, and that's the problem, isn't it? Good defence, though, by Te Tai Tokerau. Oh, just short on this left-hand side. Couldn't quite recover in there after that previous touch. And again, just that eyes up foot. He's seen there's a space, don't need to run anything fancy. Simple draw and pass, got the numbers. Really like that again, fundamentally, ball in two hands. So being a threat, making the defender think he could be passing. 5-1 now, Counties Manukau.
And I think a lot of the successes for this Counties Manukau team does come off the back of their coach, Lucky Smythe. I was very lucky to see him in weekends ago. And I know that he's an integral part of the King's College team, where he received a coaching award at the secondary schools. And going based off the type of person that Lucky is, he's such a humble, enjoyable person to be around. It really does rub off on the players as you see how respectful, honest, and just a well-mannered team they are.
Was that on purpose? How lucky you are.
Yeah, he's a great man, Lucky.
Oh, another strong touch. They're just not able to plant the ball and move forward. They're getting the ball on the back foot again, and they've got no time. Surprises me that the attacking player sort of didn't have good balance. I've seen 1,000 times harder touches than that one. I guess that's the pitches that referee sees.
I'm really enjoying the intent here from the Counties Manukau Lynx as we see them flying up almost out of position, some might say. Some might say that they're helping out their middles as much as they need to. It's just awesome to see active Lynx. Unfortunately, the ball just not being given back there when it was needed to be. They've marched them twice. Counties will get a tap on the halfway, and I think they might look to run a starter play here. With just under 30 seconds remaining, time has absolutely flown in this fixture of the 16 boys, Counties Manukau.
Did you see that Te Tai Tokerau player being put in behind the scoreline? Was there a sin bin that happened that we missed? Must have been. Back to 6, Te Tai Tokerau. Hard enough defending this team with 6, let alone 5, and we see why. Blows a kiss to the camera.
Yeah, I think his mum must be watching at home. A nice kiss blown to his mother there, to our cameraman down on the end goal as he crosses for his first try of the game. Last one of the half as we hear the hooter in the background. Ko mutu te hawhi tua tahi mo te kemu tuarua hoki mai a konei.
For Bunnings Homegrown Heroes, the mahi never stops. Nominate the unsung heroes in your touch community that go above and beyond. They could win $5,000 to invest into the sport we love. Nominate today.
Kia ora team, George here from Touch NZ. Now we all enjoy a bit of touch, but without a proper warm-up, the chances of being injured are massively increased. So to keep you on the field and out of the emergency room, Touch NZ have made a short and easy warm-up series for all levels, proven to lower the chance of injury by close to 50%. So head on over to our site and check them out. Play safe, play smart.
For Bunnings Homegrown Heroes, the mahi never stops. Nominate the unsung heroes in your touch community that go above and beyond. They could win $5,000 to invest into the sport we love. Nominate today.
E te iwi nau mai, hoki mai. We are down here at Takanini, Bruce Pulman Park for the second fixture of today, Counties Manukau Black versus Te Tai Tokerau. 6-1 is the score. Te Tai Tokerau just falling behind a little bit, but it is not to fault their effort with a very, very well-structured Counties Manukau on the other end of the field.
Really impressed with the fight that Te Tai Tokerau have shown, and not just the fight, the skill that they had. We've talked so much around the juggernaut that is this Counties Manukau under-16 team, but the scoreline just reflects how well Te Tai Tokerau have played to limit them to 5 touchdowns, and not only that, get across for one and be very close to a couple of others. They're a very, very sharp team, Te Tai Tokerau, and they're already back out on the field already as we're just looking up onto the field. Counties Manukau still very much in the box. Not sure if we had the 30 seconds yet, but Te Tai Tokerau want to get onto it. Once they got into the rhythm of the game, Sean, once they lifted their pace, their intensity up to where Counties Manukau had it, they really started to compete then.
Yes, well, you spoke of the scores earlier. Counties Manukau scores have been 14-0, 16-1, 15-0. And it goes to show the training and the dedication that they've put in. But Te Tai Tokerau would be happy so far. They've put on 1 try, and I'm sure they've got many more to come. They've come out on the field early. I'm sure the message from Bruce Kaki was simple at the halftime, just to go out and express themselves. It is awesome to see Te Tai Tokerau back again, just showing the true heart like they do from the far north as always.
When you go to halftime, are you always wanting technical messages, or ever is it a sort of a maybe just something to focus you? What do you like when you go to halftime?
A lot of the time the messaging is simple. We don't like to overcomplicate things, especially sort of in the 16s and 18s grades. You kind of want to just give maybe 1 or 2 technical points before just giving them basic simple messages, keeping to the structure, but also giving them the freedom, giving them the keys to sort of just unlock what we want to see out here and to show what amazing skills they have.
We'd be really expecting Te Tai Tokerau to have a specific plan that would have been come up within that sub box. They've got a fresh set. Sideline referee saying it was a touch.
Yeah, number 7 for Te Tai Tokerau, Po. He has been an integral part of their attack here. He's just happy to take the touch and to slow things down a little bit. I'm sure we'll see him muster something up in the half here.
Counties Manukau defence is dictating to the Te Tai Tokerau offence, aren't they? They're making them play the ball where they want it, whether that be 14 metres out, whether that be 3 metres in. They aren't dictating to Counties Manukau, really, are they?
They are truly playing at an open men's standard here. They are playing fast, strong, and as you say, the main key I'd take out of it is the fact that they are dictating the game. It just seems as though they have the game in full control.
We could almost just sit back and watch the speed that this team, as they transition from defence to attack, and not just that speed, with purpose, who they go to, the part of the field that they want to be at. So we see here just that easy creation of numbers on that right-hand side. A good defence, 5th touch now. Te Tai Tokerau just don't want to clock off, stay focused. And unfortunately, that coach killer show on the touchdown on the static 5th roll ball.
Yeah, unlucky there for Te Tai Tokerau's side. I think they just thought they were going to get quite an easy touch for touch 5, but Counties Manukau had other ideas there. With the number 10 for Counties Manukau, Keanu Simpson, strolling through for what seemed to be quite an easy try in the end there, off the back of some great defence from Te Tai Tokerau.
7-1, let's see if we can see if Te Tai Tokerau can start dictating on attack to this Counties Manukau team. Instead of being touched where they want, actually taking them over to where they want, and now they go the short side. Maybe he had numbers, could have thrown a no-look out to that left-hand side winger.
Yeah, the Counties boys making it look easy, getting back to the line there and finding themselves onside quite early. A nice late cut on the short side.
I've never seen any team really lift, maybe in that Open Men's final last year, but lift off the line as much as they have together. The intent, the purpose. Normally, most teams I find quite lazy, and they just hang back and let the attack come to them. But
it's truly a skill to be able to do, as you say, the lift from the try line on the defensive end of things to then come back down this side of the field where their speed is just as, if not faster than it was previously. Te Tai Tokerau winger Te Amo Rangi Brown jogging on the spot there with a nice intercept in the lane.
Counties Manukau have been penalised a number of times. I think we've had 6 penalties in the second half against them on the touchdown line, but it's not out of negative play. It's probably overzealous, just used to the speed they're having to play at.
Something they'll have to stamp out of their game moving forward into the finals tomorrow it is actually. It's not that it's a bad thing as you say, but it is something that they're just going to have to adapt to because the referees are calling it now. There's no doubt they'll probably look for it again in the later end. If they clean that up, I can't see much else going wrong for them.
That was a relatively straight pass that we see referee Tony picked that one up, forward pass off the ruck. Just a couple of unforced errors that I can't remember any of them in the first half for Counties Manukau. I wonder if we're able to get a bit more of a wider shot of the Counties Manukau defence. Just a few more players in picture because it's not only their intent, but they do it together. It's not just one person being sent out. They're all in half positions or quarter positions as you guys talk about it. And just as I keep throwing chocolates at the defence of Counties Manukau, I have a gift.
And a play that I was hoping to see earlier, a Bruce Kake special right through the middle there. It was the middle follow play. He gave the inside ball. I'm not sure the defender for Counties Manukau was expecting it. That play has been floating around Counties Manukau for many years now, but Te Tai Tokerau take a grasp on it and get their second try of the game.
Problem with having big feet is it's hard to get the whole foot in your mouth. Counties Manukau off nothing. Was there even a touch in that? Oh, did he get the touch? Looks like he did. Referee Edwards meets him at the scoreline, calls the touch. That was casual.
And I don't know if you can hear on the broadcast earlier when Counties Manukau made a slight error, you could hear the sub-box saying, one of the players, boys, we're getting lazy. There's a few mistakes coming out of the Counties Manukau side as we see them cross over for their 8th try of the game. However, they do need to clean up a little bit on their transition.
Yeah, great point you make. I guess for Counties Manukau, playing these games is not about so much winning or losing. It's probably highly likely they're going to win, but it's about keeping to these standards and not dropping below it.
No doubt. I'd say Lucky will have a few stats in the sub-box. Yes, they might score 8 tries. They might score 20 tries. But at the end of the day, it'll become a numbers game. How many transitions they completed, how many defensive stops they got. There's more to the game than just what we see here in front of us.
Still a really respectable scoreline so far in this one. Te Tai Tokerau getting a lot more opportunities in the second half on the attacking line. Those following quickie plays. Obviously, referee Spivey calling him offside. I like that. Look at when referees have standards on the scoreline with regards to ensuring that defensive players get 2 feet on or over the scoreline when required.
And a great call there from the referee. A little crossover from the link position. The half did well just to scoop out a little bit, keep that defence guessing. Played it back to the splitter and he dives over for a great try. 3 for Te Tai Tokerau, the most tries against this county's juggernaut side so far.
You talked about little wins yesterday and that be one. Obviously they won't be happy that they lost and I'm sure losing by 1 or 100 will feel the same for them, but you have to take those into account, don't you? And I'm sure the coaching team do. And then you take these types of things too, just the ease in which the numbers have been created by Counties Manukau.
Most definitely. There's definitely the opportunity here for Calvin Harris-Tavita to try go himself or to throw a miracle pass that's flat and is going to be the highlight of the game. But you see him there, he just fires it from the hip, a great follow through, just a textbook setup from all 4 players involved there and a great finish in the corner.
It almost wakes them up. Every time Te Tai Tokerau have scored a touchdown, Counties come down and scored it within 2 touches. So I guess there's always learnings in every game. Maybe for Counties it's around, you hear in a lot of rugby teams, isn't it? It's that 80-minute performance, or in league games, it's, putting together those 80-minute performances. And for this Counties Manukau team, who I'm sure are used to high-level competition every week, it's about keeping their standards up for the full 30 minutes.
And there's that man again as he managed to sneak through. Referee calling the touch. He's been an important part of the Te Tai Tokerau attack here. He might be one of the smallest fellas out on the field there, but he's got the biggest heart and he's absolutely going for it every single time. And the play through is called. Fourth try for Te Tai Tokerau. I haven't got his number. Yeah, there it is, number 6. Quinton Mahanga Edmonds. What a great try. He heard the play-through call. We see the feet maybe just half a boot off the line. The referee making the call there that he is, in fact, offside. And he's stoked with that one.
9-4, 4 touchdowns. Te Tai Tokerau. Great effort. And most of them in the second half. 3, I think, in the second half. Counties, though, straight down. Do they stop him this time? Oh, that's the skill I love seeing that wingers can do. Wingers have so many incredible skills, defensively and attackingly. Surely the best player in the team is on the wing, I'd have to say, in terms of the amount of jobs. But we look at him here and just the time that it took him from catching it to putting it down. You know, the smartness of the winger by not catching it while standing on his feet. He already lost his feet so that the momentum of his body as it's falling down would take him down. Just those skills that they must pick up almost through osmosis, having to do it so often. It's mad respect for the wingers.
They have an impressive skill set, that's for sure. I know from experience when there's been opportunities, if we're down a few wingers at training and I have to go fill in on the wing, no matter who it is, we definitely don't perform to the same standard as our permanent full-time wingers. And but we won't give them too much praise, or else there's one winger walking around the tournament today with some long hair from the touch blacks that might get too big of a head from it. So we see Te Tai Tokerau down on the line. They're getting a little bit happy here. Their tails up, and I think they're going to go target these middles a little bit here and try to get a little bit of a chip on the shoulder, I'd say.
Yeah, you see the Counties Manukau defence. Look at them. There's 5 in that picture in the space of 15 metres. They know that Te Tai Tokerau's touchdowns has come from quickies, follows in the middle of the field. They haven't thrown many long balls, so they really saturated the middle of that defensive line.
You spoke to it earlier about the intent that the Counties' defensive side is working to on the 7-metre line. They are penalised there, but they're making a touch. They're hitting the line. They're not finding their feet again. They're simply just advancing straight away with a point. They're clear with their touches. It is just such a high pace.
Oh, great work there. Te Tai Tokerau.
Wow.
Just simple numbers though, right? Like they had been going back to the middle, so I guess the outside defenders maybe just cocked off a little, thinking that they were going to go back to the middle again like they had for the previous 3 touchdowns. This time going on the outside. Clear numbers. 10-5. You don't normally celebrate the losing team's amount of touchdowns, but you just can't not think about the scorelines that this Counties Manukau team have had prior to this game. But again, straight in, and it's been this left-hand side in the second half, hasn't it?
Yeah, and it tends to be the same play coming from the tap-off. Unfortunately, the pass has been called forward there. That's unlucky from the Counties Manukau side. Te Tai Tokerau get away with one there. They might want to look into that defence on that right-hand flank for them. But the Counties Manukau side just seem to be running the exact same play off every single tap-off, except with different options each time, and almost getting the fruits off every one.
Oh, nice yard there. Can't get his number, but he's done that all throughout the game. This Counties Manukau team is getting absolutely penalised off the park. And I'm not saying that because I disagree with any of the penalties. And again, another touch where he tried to get into the ruck. Referee Spivey, he's not the ref you want to take on with that regard. He'll pick up any little trick that's happening. Go down the left-hand side. Good recovery there from the defence from Counties Manukau.
Yeah, we have this link and middle partnership that has been very threatening for the left-hand side of the Counties defence. Scoops out a half, unfortunately not meant to be in that one. The Te Tai Tokerau attack is looking a lot more threatening. Shown in the score, we have a 10-5 deficit with Te Tai Tokerau somewhat coming back. I don't know if the time will be in their favour with just over a minute and a half remaining. Counties will look to play the clock here a little bit.
Impressive second half from Te Tai Tokerau. And we say that even though Counties have scored one more touchdown than them. This pace, look at the 4. It almost looked like a rugby backline, didn't it? You know, the 4 Counties Manukau players, but all at the right depth all running into the right spaces on the right angles.
The intent from the county's Manukau side is very inspiring, to be completely honest. It is something that a lot of teams could take away, even at the open grade.
Do they play at the same school? Are they a school team that's become a club team or a competition team? Or
from my understanding, they're from a few different schools, a few of them being from King's College, and then a few just from the greater Auckland area. But I do know that they are great friends on and off the field, and they have a lot of great family support around them, and we sure do hear from their supporters on a Thursday night.
Lucas Smythe there getting chili bin. I imagine he's the coach's son, is he?
I think so, and I think he might get a little bit of a telling off maybe for that one tonight.
I think Dad was actually telling the ref off or something there. Can they get across again? Back to the cookies that they're loving. And they're really been scoring the touchdown simply because Counties Manukau have either been leaving early or not back the whole 7 metres. So
maybe just a little bit eager there, the county's side. I think they'll look to save the legs here probably later in day 2 as they go into day 3 tomorrow, the finals end. Some might call it the business end, is what everyone sort of tends to look forward to. We see a little bit of a run down the left flank here. Will he have the pace? The hooters sounded in the background. Ball goes to ground. Final score 10-5. Counties Manukau take it out over Te Tai Tokerau. However, a big mihi to the side from the far north. Te Tai Tokerau have given Counties an absolutely great run. A big mihi to great game. The great referees. We'll be back soon.